Who are you?
A ghost from your past, here to put an end to this sideshow.
You picked the wrong person to haunt.
I first got into the show ever since it was released on YouTube Red back in 2018, and like many others, I was just skeptical of it due to the fact that it was based on the very old Karate Kid, and I was kind of skeptical to see if the creators are actually going to make something good out of it or if they're going to botch it like many other installments were based off of AD show. And honestly, I'm glad I was proven wrong on this one because I was very impressed by the first and second seasons on YouTube Red. And even though the series has completed, it actually occurred to me that I never actually put out my own thoughts of what I thought about each season and what I thought differently about it. So today in this video, I'm going to get into it. Season 1 of Cobra Kai offers a refreshing perspective for a high school show, which doesn't focus too much on wanting to fit in with the popular crowd or being liked by others, or a convoluted plan to get close to a specific person. Instead, it's built around a community for problem-solving life's challenges. The dynamic between Miguel and Johnny, as well as the arcs of Aisha and Hawk, the wholesome building of a community around karate, and the empowerment through self-development is what really sold me on the first season. Even though Daniel was technically the bad guy in this situation, I can still understand his reaction and stance against Johnny trying to bring back Cobra Kai, but I also feel this served as a catalyst for Johnny to showcase how his version of Cobra Kai is making a difference in their kids' lives, and you could see he has the intention. It's just that Johnny didn't exactly anticipate what would happen when you take the Cobra Kai philosophy to the extreme, which is the extent that he has not addressed adequately, and therefore in the All Valley tournament he's seen that play out in the first time and made a vow to correct his students' behavior to ensure the philosophy doesn't affect them and make them go down the same path he did, which is a very admirable goal that Johnny has, that and good to see that he genuinely wants the best for his students. In season 2, high school drama is used as a plot device for exploring philosophy, and this stems from the lingering feelings Miguel and Sam has for each other despite dating Robbie and Toro respectively. Most of this was centered around lingering feelings and identity conflicts being the case for Hawk. It was also the one season where Johnny and Daniel's rivalry was at its worst. Even though we root for both of them, it was difficult to see how they're able to put their differences aside when they see each other as the worst enemy, at least up until episode 9 where they decided they don't really want the war with each other. But this dynamic also had a ripple effect as it slithered into the already brewing problems in certain rivalries such as Robbie and Miguel, Sam and Tori, and Hawk and Dimitri. Keep in mind, many of these rivalries were born out of misunderstanding, miscommunication, and high school drama, rather than being the clear-cut bad guy or good guy. But it also showed how following certain karate philosophies can lead to certain healthy or harmful actions taken by the student. There's also a deeper message in here, which is that how you engage in self-improvement can either bring you to the highest points or sink you to the lowest lows. So it's best to monitor how you're behaving and introspect whether the things you're learning is helping you or not, which is what season 2 has made clear. By the time season 3 of Cobra Kai rolled out, the atmosphere changed from the wholesome vibe it started off with to an anime plotline. Miyagi-Do wasn't shown in the best light, but Cobra Kai also got worse by the end of the season, with Kreese's past being explored, the arcade fight, the house invasion, and the use of a last resort forbidden technique. This is by far one of the darkest seasons in Cobra Kai history. It's also from this season onward that the karate philosophy has been tested against higher stakes situation, but it opened up an avenue for diverging philosophies to clash with each other and either find common ground or clash with each other, which is explored in season 4 when Johnny and Daniel have formed an alliance with each other to take down Cobra Kai once and for all. There's tensions between the dojos before the All Valley in season 4. It exposes the weakness of Johnny's and Daniel's karate philosophy working together. This ultimately left them ill-prepared to face the All Valley tournament. It was also a storyline for Sam to explore an identity that's independent from her father, which may have saved the All Valley and gave Miyagi-Do a fighting chance at the All Valley if it wasn't rigged, despite the moral bumps she had along the way. There were interesting dynamics seen such as Robbie thinking he's immune to Cobra Kai's influence thanks to Daniel warning him about it beforehand. However, he wasn't able to protect the more impressionable Kenny from being affected by it despite his best efforts. This shows that there are different and indirect ways philosophies can influence perception, and it's at this season a lot of the main characters here were at a low point. The stakes has gotten higher in Season 5 as Terry Silver used Cobra Kai's victory at the All Valley to expand Cobra Kai dojos within the valley, spreading the weight of his philosophy regionally. This season also explored more of the origins of Cobra Kai's philosophy, which originated from the Korean martial arts Tang Soo Do. This season feels like it's going to the route of Street Fighter and Tekken, introducing the Sakai Taikai World Tournament, Terry Silver being the big bad with his minions just like Bison in Street Fighter. It also introduces a new and significant character, Kim Da-eun, who is heavily connected to Cobra Kai's origins and her grandfather being Kim Sung-young, the original founder of the philosophy. It has more focus on the martial arts action. There are some high school social plots there, but they're treated as more of a side story in this season as they need to make preparations for the Sakai Taika World Tournament, which would be happening in Season 6. Everyone from the previous seasons are now fighting on the same side, which means all rivalries from the previous seasons have been squashed. In Part 1 of Season 6, they kickstarted things by introducing Kwon Jae-sung and Kim Sung-young as the new threats to the Miyagi-Do fighters, Kwon being the student of the OG Way of the Fist. They also covered very interesting plots such as Daniel's uncovering of Mr. Miyagi's dark past and the fact that Tori has to deal with the very personal and devastating issue by the end of this part. They also showed Johnny and Daniel struggling to work together as senseis and co-workers, having trouble agreeing on their approaches to train their students, which is very different from the conflict in Season 4 where it was more of a philosophical clash over fundamental differences. Overall, this part started off on a very low note. There was a lot of action shown in Part 2 with the team competing in the Sakai Taikai event in Barcelona. They realized the challenges they face in the All Valley don't even come close to what they have to face in the Sakai Taikai. They are also introduced to much bigger threats such as Axel, Zara, and Wolf of the Iron Dragons, and we see the return of Terry Silver. One good thing I liked seeing in this part is despite Tori being a part of Cobra Kai, the entire Miyagi-Do team knew she didn't make that decision in the right headspace, whereas in the previous season that would have marked her as an enemy. Kwon Jae-sung proved to be a menace to the entire Miyagi-Do team, going out of his way to antagonize them, especially Robbie and Sam, who get in their heads just like Kreese wanted. His role is very similar to Mike Barnes in Karate Kid 3, where they antagonize the hero mostly out of a direct order from the sensei rather than a personal vendetta against them. The only difference is Mike redeemed himself, whereas Kwon didn't. And unlike Miyagi-Do, Kwon wasn't ordered to antagonize Axel. Axel ended up earning Kwon's ire when he defeated him and Yu Dong-jin in the first bout. I also loved seeing Miguel relegated to a more supported role because this part made it feel like Robbie Keane was the main character here, and to be fair, he needed his time to shine. This part is the part where both tournament structure fights and all-out brawl happen in the same setting, and it would be the last and final brawl we see in the series. This part did end on a dark moment that had the same, if not more, intensity of Season 3, though in my opinion Season 3 is still the darkest season of Cobra Kai history, but it did set the stage to expand in Part 3. Come Part 3, even though I liked how this part came back in full circle near the end, I felt like this did not deliver on what was set up in Part 2. For example, Axel's character should have been affected by Kwon's death since he indirectly killed him. There's also a point where Miguel got into Stanford without needing to be captain, so I think they should have kept Miguel relegated as a supporter role here and given Robbie time to shine and be the world champion. But I see why the writers didn't make it work that way. The series wouldn't have come back in full circle back to the wholesome community building vibe it started off with in Season 1 if they decided to make Robbie a world champion with Miyagi-Do. The ending of Part 3 set up potential spin-offs such as Dimitri and Hawk going to college, Miguel and Sam in Okinawa, which could lead to more uncovering of Mr. Miyagi's past, a Mr. Miyagi prequel, Robbie and Tori going on a world tour similar to Ryu and Ken in Street Fighter but as a couple, as well as Kim Da-eun's dojo, and this one is a personal one I like to see, but Axel Kovacevic's life after Iron Dragons. That is it for my video, guys. So in light of the Cobra Kai series ending, you won't be seeing content of Cobra Kai anymore because the series has ended. It's now time for us to move on. Because I'm still a Cobra Kai fan, I will continue talking about the things that are related to the Miyagi-verse, such as the Karate Kid Legends and a potential Cobra Kai movie if the Karate Kid Legends is successful, as referencing Ralph Macchio's words. However, we have to consider that there's also going to be an eventual end for those two. And if you want to see more Cobra Kai content or Cobra Kai related content, here are some recommendations from my channel that I would suggest you guys to watch. So if Cobra Kai has taught us anything, it's that the right mentor can set us on the right path. But can we imagine a world without a mentor? This world is explored in the game called Sifu. Sifu makes up the second biggest content you'll find on my channel alongside Cobra Kai. It's a character action game developed by Slowclap where you play as a Pakme student who lost their father and mentor as a child and spend their entire life seeking revenge against those that took him away. And following that, I have also made Sifu videos on how you can play your favorite Cobra Kai characters in the game utilizing techniques and combos that best resembles the Cobra Kai character's personality. And if you like those kinds of videos, then I'd encourage you to check out my actual Sifu gameplay videos. And in follow up to that, I'd encourage you to check out my videos on the smoothest combos to see how you can chain different combos in Sifu and create a customized combat experience. And with that being said, I've also encouraged you to check out a video that I have edited called Pak Make It, and it's basically created using the game Sifu, but the structure captures the spirit of the Karate Kid where you learn to use new technique and use it at a critical moment. You can also find content on my channel about Cobra Kai's Dojo's Rising and the Karate Kid saga continues, as well as the Karate Kid Street Rumble, which retells the story of the Karate Kid from series 1 to 3. I also do videos on how certain characters from other series would fight using Cobra Kai vs Miyagi-Do. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely love character action games such as Assassin's Creed, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Sleeping Dogs, because it offers enough flexible combat features that helps bring their personalities to life and offer players a novel combat experience, defining how the character wants to do combat. You can fight aggressively like Cobra Kai, you can fight defensively like Miyagi-Do, and you can define your path that you want to take. And that's the type of games that I love a lot, which is why my channel name Free Flow Fire is reflected, because those will be the type of content you'll see on my channel. There are CAG games that are coming out that I would love to play and put them on my YouTube channel, and those are Acts of Blood by the EXO team, Spine, Ninja Gaiden 4, etc. So even though Cobra Kai is ending, we may not even get more Cobra Kai content, like at least those videos will be there, so that spirit that Cobra Kai has given us will still be alive in those videos.